Hello everybody, how's everybody doing? It is Dina. I'm here to fulfill a requested tutorial from a follower, and we're going to make this earring right here. So let's get started. All right, I have got, see it's a little fiddly. I've got 2 pieces of 18 gauge copper right here. We've got a 3-inch piece right here and a 2-inch piece. And we're going to do some wrapping on that copper with 28 gauge copper wire. And I've got a 1-foot strand cut right here. And then I've got another 6-inch piece just in case we need any extra. And then we're going to need to make the ear wire. So I've got a little piece right here of 20 gauge wire. And then also we need to put our bead. We need to make a component with our beads. We've got this cute little amethyst bead. It is seems to be a 4mm amethyst, and then we've got a faceted amethyst here, and it seems to be a 10mm. We're going to need 2 jump rings. These I've just made myself. I can never find copper, and I can never find the size that I prefer. So just a couple of little jump rings to put on the ear hook so we can make it hang right. Okay. And then these are the tools you're going to need. We've got a bead reamer. It's just handy to have if you need it. I needed it when I made this one for the bead because the hole didn't go all the way through. So if you need it, a bead reamer, okay? And then I've got a hammer, a chasing hammer. I'm not going to use this with this one, but if you wanted to hammer out any of your copper, you could do it with this, okay? However, I am going to use this one. So we've got a nylon hammer right here, and a little block to do the hammering. Then I've also got a little file. This is, it's just whatever file you prefer, but I really like this little file. And that is what we're going to use to file down the end of the ear wire. Let's just do that right now real fast. I just like them blunt, and what I'm doing is I'm turning it in my fingers while I'm filing it. And we just don't want any burrs on there, right? So, and then the ear wire, let's just go ahead and make it, shall we? I've used this round nose plier to make it, and I just turned it and curled the end like so. Okay, so you're gonna need round nose pliers. Got another set here because the nose is nice and tiny, and that's what I used to make this one right here. Okay, I'm gonna lay that down for just a moment. You're gonna need cutters, flush cutters. This is the side that's flat. This is the side that makes a V. So you're gonna wanna make sure your ends are nice and straight, and just cut them with that flush end of your flush cutters, okay? I've already done that. And then this comes in so handy, nylon pliers. You can also take masking tape and tape down a set of pliers and use them as well, okay? All right, not all of these tools are needed to make this. I just want you to know there's ways around it, okay? This is a 2 to 9 millimeter bail plier. And we're going to use this to make the ear wire. And then we got the these are chain nose pliers, okay? And then I really like they're a really fine tip, and I really like these needle nose pliers as well. So you'll see me with one in each hand using this. So let's make our ear wire. Okay, so we're going to take this little ear wire that I've already started. I made the little curl on it already. And you're going to lay this, we're going to make it around this biggest bail right here, the 9mm. And you want that little, this here little guy to turn away from it, okay? So you want it to look like that. I don't know if this is coming in focus, okay? Hoping so. And you're just gonna wrap that wire right around it, just like that. Look at that, just exactly what you needed. Look at that, it didn't go on the ground. So here is the earring wire. And then we're gonna put a little hooky bob right at the end, right there. So I just take my plier and I put it exactly with the even with the end. And I just give it a little jog like that, just a little push, okay? And now we're gonna take that and hammer it down. We don't want this part to get hammered. We just want these parts to get hammered, okay? And this is a nylon hammer. It will make it flat, but it's really used for strengthening. I'm gonna see what I'm talking about. There's not much flat on there, but there's a little tiny bit of a flat edge on there. You can kind of see it shine. Okay, so there's our ear wire, okay? Looks just like that one. Everything we do with this next earring, my aim is to do it exactly the opposite direction. I also want to strengthen these wires, so I'm just gonna hammer them down just a little bit. That's all you want to do, okay? All right. This is a chasing block. It's kind of a neat one. It's the Odin. I got it on Amazon. I can put a link in the description. Okay. So let's set these wires aside here. This is what I consider a little bit of a fiddly job right here, okay? So this is all freehand. I'm going to use, which one did I use? I used this one. And I don't know what millimeter it is. I would say 6, 7, 2. I'm not sure which one it is, you guys. I think it might be the 7. If I'm putting it here, 6 or 7, I don't know. I think it's a 6. It's 5 or 6. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one. The third, no, 1, 2, 3, fourth biggest one. Okay, I'm gonna make that. And I need this longest piece of wire because it's gonna make that top part. The shortest piece is gonna make that bottom part. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna lay it right where I want it, in the middle. So I'm trying to put it right in the middle, like so. And yes, I'm eyeballing it. You can measure it. Okay, and then I'm going to just fold it up. So I folded it. I just folded it. And I want my ends to be somewhat even. They look pretty even. Okay, and I'm going to just fold it around like that and make it nice and tight. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a shape that way. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna bring it off. Okay, so I've got that top part right there. Okay, now I need to bring these into a curl. Let's see, let's use these round nose pliers. And I'm just gonna start that curl right at the end, and I'm being really careful not to bend the rest of my wire, so I'm holding it at the end. And I'm just going to curl that in. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. And I'm placing it really close to the tip. And I'm just curling it in. Trying to keep everything in the same, I don't know what you would call it. Shape. This side looks longer. Okay, I'm going to continue to roll. I'm just going to continue to roll and roll. I don't want it to look bent, so I'm being really careful to just kind of roll it. And I'm holding on to everything so it doesn't bend. Okay. I'm going to compare. It looks bent right there. Okay. Continue to roll. Holding it with my finger. I'm just making it do what I want it to do, right? And you just got to keep comparing. Okay. I want this to turn in a little bit more. This to turn in a little more. And try to keep this in the camera view. I'm going to get my little nose ones. These little guys. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm shooting for this angle to be like that angle and that angle to be like that angle at the moment. And so So you're just gonna fiddle with it. We wanted to mirror this one. This one's too hot. Let's see. How does that look? It looks pretty close. I want to stick my head right in the view of the camera. Okay, so here's what it looks like from this angle. Here's what it looks like. Doing a little comparison. I think it's close. It's close. So let's see. It's got a little bit of a raise right here. I want it to kind of lift up right there. Just subtly. Let's see what it looks like if we put it on top of it. Looks like I picked the right veil to use. It's somewhat similar in all kinds of ways. So now I think I like how it looks. This is where our nylon pliers come in. You just kind of want to squish that down. Okay, this is what it looks like from this angle. That angle, here, this angle, if you can see, that angle and this angle. So it's a little crooked, but I don't want to do a bunch of bending. So let's see. Let's put it back down on this bail plier. Make sure it's nice and tight. And I just grab it on both ends and pull. I don't want to bend it. I just want it tight. So that looks good. Let's compare it again. It's hard to stack them. I think it's comparable, and I'm just going to leave it. So I'm happy with this one. Okay. And then let's do the bottom one. So we're going to make this cute little circle-y one. This one right down here. Little smile. And let's go ahead and I'm going to place it roughly right about 1/8 of an inch in. Right even with the end. If you can see that. Start curling. Just start curling it. Okay. Do over here. We want our curls to match. Oh, there we go. We don't want to close it. Close it. Let me see here. We just want to curl it. And just keep curling it. See how I got a kink in it right there? This is where this comes in handy. Just flatten it back down. And flatten it, flatten it, flatten it. Look how good that worked. I just want you to know you can make this wire do anything you want it to do. Okay. So right now, it's so pliable. It's almost like, anyway, right now we're going to look for the middle, and we're going to just subtly push with our thumbs and try to bend it a little bit around our fingers. We want it to be a subtle little C. We don't want it to have a peak at the bottom too much. We want our bead to ride right there, but we just want to make it round, right? See how it's just curling for me? Curl, curl. There's a little spot that's bugging me right there. Let me see if I can get it to work for me. Okay. Here comes these nylon nose pliers again. It'll hold it better than I can hold it with my finger, so I can curl it. Okay. So we got a little curl started. Okay. Like so. Let's just smash it too. I can also control my smashes. There we go. Anyway, we want to curl this just a little bit more right here. So I'm going to grab it and push with my finger. Curl it a little bit. I don't want to close it. Curl it a little bit. Let's see, we're just curling it. Like so. And now we're going to start kind of curling it tight right at the end. Okay. Let's lay it next to each other. Okay. So I need these two little points to point up like that, so to speak. Let's see. don't want to close them. I want to close it. How can I do that? Let me try it with these. There we go. It's working a lot better. There we go. That's what it looks like. Let's flatten it out. That one's much bigger. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm seriously just fiddling with this wire. That's what you do. And you'll put it in shape, and then it'll go out of shape, and then you can put it back into shape. Let's lay them on top of each other. It looks pretty close, don't you think? I think I'm going to leave it. Okay. Let's see what they look like when we put them together. Something's not right. Let's widen this just a little. We need them to touch where we can wrap them. It's this one. This needs to be rounder. Okay, so I fiddle farted with that. You guys, I'm sorry, I might have come off the camera. Let's measure it again on our bail. Make sure and tighten it. Let's lay it down. So what I did was I just took my needle nose and I just kind of bent it subtly because it was too wide. It needed to be closer to the connections there. Now it looks similar, and I would say it looks similar enough. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping that. And just kind of look at everything. I don't want to do a ton of bending. Here is what we've come up with so far. There we go. There we go. I'm good enough with, I'm okay with all that. So let's wrap. First thing I want to do though, before I do that, is get this one started. Okay, what we're doing here is we're just going to make a bead component with that bead, this bead, and we're going to make it look like that. This piece is 4 inches, a 4-inch piece of 22 gauge wire. Okay, and we're going to make our little hooky bob at the top. Make sure you have to do it right. So if you take this piece of wire and you give it a 45-degree angle, and you put your bill plier right there, or your round nose plier, sorry, right there. And you're putting it right in that little fold. And you just wrap that thing around like so. Adjust your plier. Bring that in. This may be 20 gauge. I think this is 20 gauge. I don't think it's 22. All right. I put it in the description. I'm sorry. That's what happens when you get older. You just forget things. But I can tell by the way I'm folding it, it's not 22. 22 is so easy. It's like butter. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm making sure I have got a few wraps on here. These guys are nice and strong for me. They do what I want them to do. There we go. So we're going to go one more wrap. You know what? I'm going to use this one. I do the two-handed thing a lot. You can tell I've got problems with my fingers. And that's why I do this, to keep them strong. It's almost like therapy. And it's also mental therapy. All right, did you see me just squish that? So when you squish that in right there, you're basically burnishing the wire to the other wire, and it gets rid of anything that would catch you and hurt you. There's a little bit of a catch there, but watch this. You take that file. You can use any file you prefer. Just rub that little burr off. You don't want to scratch your earring, but we're going to cover that with a bead. So pick and choose where you want to cut and file. Okay, there we go. No more scratch. Okay, as you can see here, this component, the first thing that goes next to the twist is going to be the little round bead. So let's see if this one's hole goes all the way through. It had to if it was on a string to begin with, so it has to have a hole somehow. There we go. Went through. So there we have it. There's that one. It's a little amethyst bead. And then we've got this pretty little faceted amethyst chunk next. And now we can start curling it. And this will actually curl up and be that size at the end, okay? You know my little tiny one, look how little this little guy is. So you just take that and start curling. And do you remember how I said I wanted a mirror of this earring? Where I wanted it, this top layer goes this way. It doesn't look like we have a mirror of this. It actually stacked exactly the same way as that. And I'm going to be honest with you, if I was getting professional, I would want it to look the other way, where this side was on top. This edge was on top rather than this edge. But I'm okay with it. I'm going to leave it. Okay, back to this one. I'm going to just start curling this little tiny end, and I want it to be a tight curl. And I can cut it if I need to, but I'm going to try to make it a tight curl without a cut. What I mean by that is you just cut the wire to make it look tight. I think I'm okay with how it looks. So, but look how tight that little hole is right there. That's what we're shooting for. And we should have roughly 3 wraps like that one has. Okay, so now we're going to use our nylon nose pliers, and we're going to start wrapping that around. And these give me supernatural strength. I think I'm going to clip a little spot off right there. Just a tiny spot. I want it to curl really tight. Okay, now you see where I can start making it curl tighter? Takes a little strength. There we go. Yeah, we got it rolling. See how it's starting to roll for me? There we go. Takes a little bit to get it started. You just got to be patient. And my aim is to keep it nice and tight. Right on, right next to each other, as tight as I can. If you've ever made these coils, they look really pretty when they've been hammered out a little bit with the chasing hammer. It's just really pretty, in my opinion. So I'm having an issue here. I think I might have made my bead the other way, but I want to show you guys how to fix this, okay? This bead I made different than I'm making this bead, okay? I actually started with the curl rather than with the very top. So we're going to fix it. And we can fix it very easily because I only want 1, 2, 3 wraps in this coil so that it will match this coil. This is really actually good for you guys to see how to fix stuff and why you always want to have extra wire. Let me see if I can get these coils to lay together. Okay. I got to put a little bit more on it and then it's going to be good. Okay. A little bit more, a little bit more of a curl. And then we're going to fix this and make it look like the other one. That was whole aim. What happened was I made that yesterday and then I got busy because I went messing around with my friends and rather than making both of them. Okay, that looks about right. Compared to the other one, they look the same. There they are. They look the same. Okay. This is going to hurt you more than it hurts me. Okay, don't be scared, guys. Wow. Okay, let's make it work. We can't make it work. We can't make it work. We got it the wrong way. I'm gonna make it work. Watch. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna make it work. Okay, so then you just turn that guy around this, but you got to use a different thing. We're going to make it work. It's going to be okay. I just want to finish showing you guys how to make this, but don't do what I just did. You're like, but you're the one teaching me. Okay, watch this. What I'm doing is I'm trying to flatten that out a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm going to grab this one. And bear with me. There we go. I'm not talking you through this because I'm fixing it. Don't do what I did. There we go. And I'm having a heck of a time. Okay. I've almost got to where I can do pretty good repairs. Okay, guys, we did it. We fixed it. We fixed it, and it's going to be adequate. So let me tell you what I did wrong, because I think it's good to know that none of us are perfect. And even though I'm here showing you this tutorial, I'm obviously where's that bag reamer? Human. Okay. All right. So our beads look really a lot alike. They really do. Let me show you. I'm going to try to hang them on the earrings oppositely. What I mean is, when I hang it, I want the curls to face each other. That way, if they're in the other ears, they're going to go away from each other. See? So, but we've got our beads together. We've got 3 curls here. I want you to start at the bottom making your 3 curls, put this bead on, and then make that, and then clip it. So that's how I should have done it. Okay? All right, so here we go. Let's finish making this earring. All right, this, to begin with, we're going to grab our little jump rings, open them up. We are going to put them on our ear hook. You can close your ear hook and open your ear hook if you prefer. I'm not doing that with these ones, so I'm just closing my jump rings, making sure they're nice and tight, squishing them flat so they're nice and flat, not smashing them with my little guy there, and it's ready for the next step when I'm ready for it. I'm going to take my 1 foot length of wire, and I'm going to start wrapping my little connection here. And I don't care about wasting wire. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I keep a tail. I need something to hold on to. Okay? And I don't know if you've ever wrapped much, but the kinks in this small wire really happen quick. So I train my wire to turn, and I follow it in just like that on every one. So I'm holding my wire down and anchoring it with my thumb. I'm making sure I'm not bending my component. I'm training my wire to roll around that wire, and I'm following it in, and then I'm pulling it tight. And I'm going to do roughly 7 to 9 turns just to wrap the 2 spots that are on top of each other. So there's 3. Training that wire and watching where it's going to land, making sure it's in the right spot, not overlapping anything. It kind of lands where it's supposed to anyway. Come in here, tighten everything up. It's such fine wire that you can really make it move where you don't want it to, so be careful. And that would be the 5th turn. So we're going to do 7 to 9. You don't really have to keep track of how many. You can use your eyeball and know when to stop. But roughly that's how many is going to be on here. And we're going to do just a couple more turns on there. I was a bad girl today in a good way. I went on Whatnot and followed this company somebody referred me to. Wild River Beads or something like that. I watched their show today. Oh my gosh. They had some of the most quality, beautiful, real beads that I've been able to find anywhere. What I'm doing right now is just making sure everything's nice and snug. And I was able to pick up some stuff. Now I'm telling you what, I'm going to be able to make some really good quality, wonderful earrings with some real gems and minerals you can't find anywhere. I mean, you really just can't. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. It's going to be able to match this one. It's going to be roughly the same. Okay. Okay, what I do with these is I take them and I tuck them right around that first, just around this, not around both of them. And I'm going to tuck that wire right down in there. Okay. Sometimes it won't stay, but you get it where you just get it where it'll land. Same thing with this one. We're going to tuck it right around that one wire, that top wire. We're going to tuck it in tight as we can. I'm serious, I'm going to go tight. Wrap it around my fingers there. It doesn't really go anywhere, it just kind of sits where it wants to. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it there and I'm going to burnish it into that 18 gauge so it'll stay put. So I'm grabbing my cutter. I want the flat end to catch that wire. And cut it off. Okay. I'll take this plier. I'm going to burnish that end right into that 18 gauge wire without smashing anything or hurting anything. See how it smashed it right into that wire? So I'm pressing a little bit hard and pulling away. So it's going to just wrap it into that wire. Okay, let's do this one. All right. These are splints for my fingers. I have hypermobility syndrome. I have a collagen disorder. Some people call it Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility syndrome. I call it my legs don't work. My fingers don't work right. Okay, we're going to burnish that in to that wire, smashing it into that wire. Okay, there you have it. There's our first component. We are almost done with these earrings. Yeah, that wire is going to go where it wants to, but we did our best to try to put it where we wanted it to, right? Okay, lay that down. Here's, of course, I forgot to tell you about a tool. Your Sharpie. You really need to mark these or you're going to have this really offset on this earring. I want to mark where they're intersecting, and I like where I see that. It's coming right up into the center of that, and it's coming right up to the edge of that. Do you see that? That's not where I want it. I want it to aim to the edge and aim to the edge. But I want to, overall, it doesn't look right. So overall, I need it to look right. I'm going to mark it right here. Let me make sure my marker works. I'm going to mark it right here and right here. And I'm going to mark it right here. See what it does to me? It stops working. So see how my marks are right in the same place on both of them? That's what it's gonna look like when we're done. Is that how we want it to look? I think it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this little piece of wire because it's plenty to do this little tiny wrap we're gonna do next, okay? So I'm gonna grab my piece, I'm gonna throw my wire in there, and I'm gonna find an anchor spot, okay? And I'm gonna take my little finding here to make my component, and I'm gonna put those little dots together. You think they're gonna stay? No, they're not on that first turn. So, whoops. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get this guy anchored before I try to match things up. And then, so get the first wrap around both pieces. Open that up, pull that through, okay? See how it's wanting to get off there. Come on. Oh my, look, it looks like we almost got their first wrap. Okay, we did it, all right. Okay, so I wanna get this where I want it anchored. I wanna be able to see both of those little marks there. And I'm just gonna pull it tight. And I'm gonna train that wire. And I'm gonna do my best. And now I've got a little bit more. Holy smokes. A little bit more of, I think I'm gonna just pull it through one and then go through the other first. Was that right? Yes. Okay. Where am I headed with this? I got lost. Okay, I see. All right, so I'm wrapping toward me. So I'm gonna just start wrapping. These ones are a little fiddly, but you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Sometimes I am amazed at what I can do. You guys, I have challenges. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure, and right now I'm gonna start lining up my dots. Because once I get this wire in there, I want it to hold where I want it to hold. Because if I just keep wrapping, it's gonna hold it somewhere else with a different angle and all kinds of things. So get those dots where you want them. All right, now I only wrap these about 5 times. I've already got 2 on there. This will be number 3. Oh, there's the kink, the dreaded kink. See what I just did? I went in there and rolled my pliers around and made it round. Okay. It's looking good. We're going to do like two more wraps and that's it. And then I'll show you what we do next. Here's that kink coming. All right. No kinks. And no kink zone. There we go. We got it. Okay. All right. And that my dot wants to move around a lot on this side. Here's our 4th wrap. And I'm going to do one more. And assess it, you guys. If you think 4 wraps is all you're going to get in there, because if you look at it, it's pretty narrow. It's starting to go up the edge. I think 4 wraps is all I'm going to do on that one. And then my dots on this side are coming together really well. See that? I hope you can see that. Okay, so now I'm going to take my bead and I'm going to put it on my wire. get it on there. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we got our bead on there. Did we do it right? Look, you guys, we did it right. They're aiming different ways or together. That was luck. I didn't look first, okay? All right, I'm gonna leave these wires hanging off on this one, okay? I'll get it out of my way if I need to, but I'm gonna leave them hanging on that one. And then we're gonna work on putting this last spot together right there. See, my dots are really close together. I might have to do just a little adjustment. There we go. Now they're in the right spot. See that? Okay. All right. Let's get it done. That's where the 6-inch piece comes in. I always have just a little extra cut just in case I need it. I could cut this, but you guys, there's not enough there. You want to have enough to anchor with, and it's just worth having a tail. Okay, so I want to get this in here, even if I have to bend it over to hold it, right? I can do whatever I need to do. And then this one's a little bit more fiddly because we've got a closed spot now. Okay. All right, let's see where we're at. Now I don't want this to be in my way now, so. Okay. Looks like our dots are not matched up. Let's get them matched up. Let's get our first turn in first. You can do this. I know it looks hard, and I know it looks like I'm having a hard time, but I've done it before, and you can do it too. I'm gonna just get this anchored real fast with this smaller end. And then we'll wrap from there. We will wrap together from there. Okay. There we go. Okay, now see how it's all wonky? That's why we have the dots. So I'm going to take it and turn it, match my dots. Okay. And then I'm going to start wrapping it. It looks good. Okay. Try to put it where you guys can see the angle. There we go. Dots together. No. There we go. Wants to get all wound up in the other corners. You're the one with the thumb, so you get to be in control. So I used to do a lot of sewing. I used to sew backpacks. I used to call them high-tech backpacks, which is funny. They were just internal frame backpacks, but back in the 80s, that was high-tech. And then that company dissolved, but the owner made another company. I sewed for that company called Mystery Ranch. It was Dana Gleason. So I was sewing for him a couple years ago, but he sold the company to Yeti. So now Yeti owns a Mystery Ranch. It's a division of Mystery Ranch, or of Yeti. Anyway, they don't have a sewing floor here in Bozeman, Montana anymore. They terminated the sewing folks that were doing the production, and it only makes sense you can farm that out and you don't have to pay vacation, insurance, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And so, I do something else now, but I'm going to tell you something. Sewing with wire is fun, and I think it's pretty. Okay, let's see how we're doing. So you can see these little guys move around no matter what, even if I try to anchor them down really tight. So when you're wearing them, they could get moved out of whack. Just once we burnish the ends when we cut them, it'll probably be better. So there's 5 there, and there's 4 there. I'm going to do one more around this side. I'm going to use the short end. So it looks like that's where it can fit better. And just pull it tight. Pull it tight. Pull it hard. Make sure they don't bounce on top of each other. Take your gently squeeze. You can use your nylon pliers too if you prefer. But I'm trying to actually bend the wire into place and make it tight. Make it square. We don't want it to move. We don't want it to let anything else in. We want these to be the same. I'm not trying to hurt anything. I'm just trying to flatten it. Okay, so there's our earring. Is it wonky? Yeah, it's wonky. Let's fix it. There. Now let's do it again. Pulling those ends. Smashing things down. How's it look now? It looks good. There's our earring. It's all spazzed out right now because of these wires. All right. I'm going to trim this one right where I want it and burnish it right now so I can find it, because I will lose it. I will lose it and never find it again to do it. There we go. Nice and tight. Burnish that down. This one, cut it where I want it. Burnish it in. And yeah, I could have tucked it like I did these, but these ones are a little hard to get to, you guys. Just do your best. Okay. That one's cut. Looks good. Okay. Is there a back and front? I don't know, is there? Do your best to make them both look the same. Okay. That's a little long. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little long. I'm not gonna be able to get it where I want it, so I'm gonna cut it down just a hair bit and put it in my little trash can. I have a little jar that I use for scraps. And rub that sucker down. Make it, burnish it down. Make it tight, put it where you want it. There you go. This one. I have quite a bit of wire left, but gosh, I can use that in all kinds of places. On my next earrings. It's a little bit long. Let me cut that down a little bit. Careful what you cut, guys. I've cut right in the middle of my project before. Roll that thing down. Get it stuck where you want it. Okay. It wonked out on me. So you're going to have to just reassess everything. Well, here, let's just lay down here. Let's get these out of the way. Come on, little friend. All right. There we go. Looks good. Let's put it together and call it a day, shall we? All right. Let me see. Let me make sure. It needs to be on this side. So they're facing each other. And it needs to be. Okay. I always have a challenge putting these on the right way. Hopefully it's right that first time. If not, we'll just put it on again. Close it up. Take a look. Yes, they're facing away from each other, so I did it right. There you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Even the part where we had to fix that. Yeah. Enjoy. Have a good day. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.